are getting ready to conduct an amazing seminar, also webinar, for our upcoming event that is called Ovulation Not Menstruation. And we've come from generations of, especially within the Black families, where we do not discuss some of these very important issues that affect the women in our family, that affect the womb, which we know is the source of creation, like our dear sister Fuku says. It brings us all here. So it's getting to the point to where, as you all know, in my work, I try to do a lot of work with men and women on holistic health, and taking a new, fresh approach to holistic health, and going a little deeper than just vegetarianism, veganism, and just typical Western herbs, taking a deeper approach.
Well, it is a lot of people who believe they are under a good diet. They're actually eating what we call heterotrophic, hybridized food.
They're actually on a diet for real, and they thought right, but they're not for the right reasons.
There you go, and that's why the educational piece is so key, because we're taught to eat our greens, but if those greens are hybrid, that means that when they get old, they're going to ferment, and before they get old, they're going to be acidic anyway because they're hybridized. So fermentation is basically you're letting fungi into your body. Fungi are spores that will multiply, and that can, in worst case scenario, lead to cancer.
I grew up thinking that upon getting my menses that I was going to go through 7 to 10 days of pain, bleeding, really hemorrhaging is what it is. For a woman to have days of pain, cramping, nausea, headaches, attitude problem, bloating, all of these symptoms, along with this hemorrhaging, is creating a host of problems for women, and is really an imbalance with her hormones. So this is normal, very normal, but it's not natural, and that's the thing that we really want to express to women at this seminar, that it's not natural.
All organisms and cell structures, cell organisms and, communities, they have harmony. Now, me being a man, I'm giving it from a man's perspective.
Of course.
Right?
A very important disclaimer.
If you're a woman, as a man, if your woman gets irritable and argumentative, that's a problem. That's a disruption in your household. So that alone on the macro level, that's proof. That is the only proof we need, and evidence we need to know that's not natural. The hormones are produced by the endocrinal system. The endocrinal system is governed by glands throughout the body, and most importantly in the brain. So when there's a hormonal imbalance, that is a form of brain damage that everybody has to realize. That's your brain is damaged. Your brain is malfunctioning to produce incorrect or an excess or a deficiency in certain chemicals. So chemicals that are released from our brain determine our behavior. So when our behavior is miserable or argumentative or violent, that's a form of brain damage.
And there are minerals that can help to balance that, and that's something that we want to touch on. Just making sure that everybody understands how today they can incorporate the proper diet into their bodies, or get rid of the culprit cuisines that keep them from getting the proper minerals and nutrients in order to balance those hormones and to work with their natural biology to keep themselves from having to deal with this every single month, and as well as creating future issues and female reproductive disease.
Throughout the animal kingdom, you don't see menses. And if there's a serious issue with the animal where, you ask a veterinarian, my animal's bleeding, they're going to say, well, there's something wrong with your animal. There's that's the difference between menstrual cycle and what is called an estrus cycle. Estrus is, you're going through ovulation, but, when there isn't a pregnancy, the the fluids within the ovaries, they will, and in the uterus, they'll just dissipate back into the wall, into the endometrium. You know, we're gonna go, you know, pretty deep into that at the seminar. So we'll show, you know, we're not guessing at anything. This is, you know, scientific data, you know, proof, and, you know, this is historical data and proof.
Right.
So a lot of women that don't eat, you know, for instance, meat, and don't eat a lot of sugar and starch, you know, even if, you know, a lot of females right now who are, you know, vegan and vegetarian, you know, they don't bleed during, you know, they don't bleed. So you have some women who may bleed for a day, and it's, you know, like a little, what they call specks.
Yeah, coming out of now 15 years of changing over my diet from eating a sad diet, growing up on everything, you name it, I saw a tremendous change from eating meat, dairy, starchy foods, now getting into non-hybrid foods. Major change from 7 days down to 4 days, down to 3, and almost just 2 days. So you definitely get to see the results, and I don't have the same psychological struggle. I barely know when it's coming. You know, I used to could feel it. My whole attitude would shift. You know, I would get achy and bloaty and attitude and all these things. So you certainly recognize a shift, and the more you get into your detox and your healing process, add in the proper nutrients and minerals, which if you come to the seminar, you'll be able to taste and try and see food demonstration and try some of these elixirs, female elixirs and things like that. You'll be able to see those results for yourself.